What's going on, everyone? This box Nate, that box Ryan. We're 3 drinks down. We're back live with a hangout session tonight. Ryan, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, it's good to be back. Doing good. How you doing?
Oh, dude, it's been crazy. Let me pull it back out to this shot. I think that's better.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Yeah, I know you've been busy with family and stuff. I can totally appreciate that. I don't know if you caught the show a couple weeks ago, but dude, we had some major audio. So I appreciate you joining earlier to help get that worked out. I think we are all good. I'm double checking. I see audio. We should be okay. So yeah, you sound great. You look great. You're there on the set.
I feel great.
Yeah, dude. It's been a long time.
It has. It's been too long. I was just thinking as we're getting kind of set up, it's like it's kind of like riding a bike. You don't forget, but it just feels a little bit different being back here. Obviously, I wish we had 3 windows here, or kind of 2 people in your window. So
that might happen still. Greg is out with Amy tonight, and so he's going to set her name on stream, so I don't think he cares. And they're out watching Multiverse of Madness. So I watched last night. Otherwise, we might have done this last night. So I really coordinated this poorly. I wish, but he did say, assuming they don't go do anything after the movie, he may jump on. It's hard to say.
Good deal.
That'd be awesome. It'd be fun if he did. If he doesn't, okay too. Be with third window. Absolutely. Maybe if somebody else jumps on later, we might just pull him on stream with us for giggles.
Hey, let's do it.
So, yeah, why
let's
not?
Do it.
Absolutely.
So what's new with you? What's going on in your world?
Just the show. I confirmed some things. I actually haven't a chance to even tell you and Greg about this. So this will be news to you as well.
Nice.
The show will be brewing a beer in collaboration with a local brewery. No more details than that right now. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. It'll be as far as I understand, at least a tap room on draft, and there may be cans available on site as well. So
nice.
So that's pretty cool. I'm hopeful that I can get more details about that sometime in the next 2 weeks. Because it looks like that's going to happen and probably be available around 1st of July or so, which might also be important.
I don't know. Yes. So that's good to hear. That's a little spoiler alert. Just enough to keep us interested.
Just a little taste.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So let's jump right into something. Let's have a little fun tonight. Let's start off the show.
Let's do it.
What we're going to do, because we're going to go into some other segments and things like that. So I, through the magic of mutual friends, I made sure that Ryan was able to have a sample of something that I actually have in my glass as well this evening. So I know what's in this glass. And the thing is, Ryan, I want to know, what do you have in your glass? So if you're not catching on, folks, we're going to play a little game here. We're not going to make fun of Ryan if he's way off. We're not. That's not how this works. Because this is a hard thing to do. When somebody shoves a glass in and says, hey, what is this? I don't know, but I'm going to allow Ryan a premise here. I'm going to give him a few things up front just to help him a little. And then I'm going to allow him to ask questions. And so if it's too damning of a question where it'll be like, that's going to give it away, I'm not going to answer it, or I'll give him what I can. But to start off, what I will share with you, Ryan, is that I know through conversation that you've had this before. Okay. I will tell you the obvious. This is a whiskey. I think you would have gotten that. So that's fair. So that's as far as I'm going to narrow the world down for you right now. So I'm going to turn it loose to you, let you nose over it, let you taste whatever you need to do, talk us through it, ask questions.
Well, I will say, I've been kind of nosing this thing. I've been nosy, if you will. And this definitely has a familiar smell to me. Now, again, I've said on the show before, I'm not somebody that can put my nose in the glass and pull out all kinds of notes in terms of what it is I'm smelling here. I smell some really good bourbon. I smell familiar bourbon. I have something in the top of my mind without even having a taste.
You want to headshot it? Like, so the thing is, when you say okay, if you make a guess along the way and you say the statement, I know what's in my glass, then I'm going to take that for your gospel. If not, you can throw anything out you want. I'll try to react neutrally. So go ahead and throw your first impression out. That might be fun.
Yeah. So this is not my official, but if I just was blindfolded, had to smell, I would have to say Old Forester 1910.
Old Forester 1910. Okay. All right. So that's just off the initial aroma, huh?
This is just smelling, yes.
Interesting. So what are you getting? So what's tipping you off to think that? And I'm, again, just...
so
you should be throwing questions at me to help you pull it apart, but let's ask that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so for me, again, I can't pull a lot from the nose, but one thing I feel like I can typically pull is molasses, that brown sugar molasses. And so for me, there's a couple of bourbons right out off the gate that I think about. Old Forester 1910, I love it because it's a nice sweet, and I get the brown sugars, I get the molasses type of feel from that. Another one, which I'm not going to register this guess yet. I definitely want to get into this and taste it. But it already has me thinking, and the name's escaping me now. Woodford Reserve Double Oak, probably one of my personal favorites. Again, the nose, the sweetness, making me think that could be it. But enough smelling, a little tasting here.
All right, all right. I'm going to jot down what you're saying on the nose and whatnot, so we can come back to that because I'm going to forget. If I don't write it down, I'll forget.
All right, so I can tell you right now, tasting this, I'm wrong on both accounts. This is not either, and I say that because again, it's nice. It follows the nose. I get the sweetness, but it has a little bit of a bite to it. It isn't going to be that. It's not.
Is this your
It's
first
not
bourbon of the
heat.
evening?
I'm sorry.
Is this your first drink of the evening?
It is, yeah. So that first, I always kind of throw that first taste out. That's just kind of
So let the second
getting the
one
palate
go.
right. Yeah. Let's see what
But
happens.
that's interesting that your gut reaction was like, "Oh wow, not 1910, not Woodford Dio." Yeah.
Yeah, confident. Definitely, this is definitely not a Woodford Double Oak.
Okay.
100% confident. So I can get the Kentucky Hug now.
Oh, okay. How far? Where are we going here? Like throat, chest, all the way down?
Right in this, actually, right kind of where this little box is.
Kind of by design.
But it dissipates quickly.
All right.
And I will tell you, as familiar as it was on the nose, it is not ringing any bells on the palate.
No.
But I'm enjoying it. It's definitely, this is nice.
Well, do you have any questions? I mean, you've kind of investigated, you sniffed it, you tasted it. You kind of made some other observations.
So I'm getting some peanut here. And that is on the palate. I'm getting the peanut. And so it's, so this may sound weird, but I get peanut with certain ones. And so there's one here locally called Still Right. That is one I get a lot of peanut on. I don't get a lot of that peanut nutty taste in a lot of other bourbons until I start talking about Wild Turkey and things that are coming from that distillery. And so this kind of makes me think maybe this is not saying it's a Wild Turkey, but maybe a product. A Russell.
So again, not official guess, not.
Yeah, no, again, not official guess. I'm just kind of exploring where this could be leading us.
Okay, all right. I like it. I like it. Keep talking it through. It's good stuff.
All right, so I do have a question, and this may be.
I will answer if it doesn't completely give it away.
Sure. So obviously, we know there are a couple of big hubs for bourbon in Kentucky, and so I guess my first question is this distilled in Louisville?
Is this distilled in Louisville?
Or
yes.
Are they based? I should say, is this distillery based? I don't.
Yes.
Obviously, it can be. Okay.
That was. Yes. I did not think you would go that direction. Actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, you identified it was a Kentucky one right off the bat, so that's good.
Yes.
You identified Louisville doesn't really help too much because it's just different between Louisville, Bardstown, and elsewhere, right? That's the only thing it really does.
And I'm just kind of pulling out, those areas there. So, again, I'm just going to play.
Sorry, hang on. I forgot my geography. Hold on.
Oh boy.
No, it's good. It's a good thing that I just said what I just said because I would have led you down the wrong path. No, not Louisville.
Not Louisville.
My apologies, and thank you for making me kind of think through that exercise.
Yeah.
I about screwed the whole thing up. Jeez, that probably changes your train of thought. So
it does.
It doesn't help that much, though, right? Honestly,
but this now takes me to Bardstown.
Okay, let's explore that. Let's explore it. If you have any more questions about that,
is this distiller located in Bardstown, Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, going any more specific about location, obviously I can't do for you. So
yeah.
And I only vaguely remember like whereabouts in Bardstown they are anyway. So interesting. You really got your wheels going here.
All right. Yeah, it really does. Yeah. So
I felt like this would be a good one. This one threw me the last time I tasted it too. So what else you got? What are you thinking? What's going on inside
well,
there?
I'm formulating an idea here.
Anything
So
on
I
anything on any color? Strike anything to you?
yeah. So the color is very nice. This is not a young bourbon, and I can tell that by the taste. I don't, those younger bourbons. I really pull out that corn, get that. I don't have that here.
All right, not young.
And now that you say that, so I do wonder too if I'm getting a little bit of char, if that's kind of giving me some of that initial. Again, I'm going to call it a bite.
The only thing I did not find about this particular product is actually char level on barrels, so I can't tell you either way on that. So if you were going to ask about that, I have a suspicion I know, because I think I know the profile for this particular distillery and what they typically do. And I don't think this is off profile from that, but
Okay.
I didn't find it officially.
Another thing too that I look for when I'm tasting bourbons, and I'm just again I haven't done a lot of blind taste tests. That's something I definitely want to do more of, the blind tasting, because I think it's just such a cool way to explore. Exactly, I love this because I'm exploring. I don't come into it with a bias, but I don't get really any oak, any wood. So I'm thinking this is just going to be probably a standard bourbon. This is not going to be anything with an age statement. Am I correct?
Allow me to come back on camera. Age statement, you are incorrect.
So this is an age statement. So this is, I'm going to guess, at least a 10-year.
Answering your question, at least a 10-year, yes.
Okay. So that does change where I was going to initially go. So that was a good question by me. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one.
Well, I mean, you're starting to really get around this. I'm sorry, I'm looking down for something because I have something I don't want you to see. So I think I have. No, that's not going to help me. Okay. All right. Anyway, so
I am going to go. I'm taking this thing back to Wild Turkey, and this could totally blow this up, but I'm fairly confident what I have in my glass is a Wild Turkey product. Now I've got to drill in to what it is that we are tasting here. And so
I think it's fair to say that, like, you don't have to dive in so deep as to say, other thing I would say is this is not a store pick either. So I'm not trying to throw that curveball at you. Yeah. You don't have to dive into necessarily say like the specific bottle if you have like a dead nuts on, but if you get the bottle family, like especially like, that'd be great. So let me know what you think.
All right. Well, I feel like I'm in the place where I can go ahead and make my guess official, put it on the books.
Okay. Put it on the books. So
this
you think you know what's in your glass?
Russell's Reserve.
You think this is Russell's Reserve?
I do.
So it's going to be a Russell's Reserve 10 or older, right? Obviously.
I'd really have a hard time going older than 10, but
okay. Well, we just by your question. That's why I'm asking. I'm not trying to lead you.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, I'm going to say this is a Russell's Reserve, and this is probably going to be a 10-year bottle.
Okay. Any other thing you want to throw out there about it? You want to guess proof? Do you want to do anything like that, or do you just want to leave it at that and see where we go?
You know what? In terms of proof, this, I think we're. I couldn't get. We're not
That's
overly. This is
not
a barrel proof.
This is not a barrel proof product.
Yeah.
Not a barrel proof. All right, that's what you think. Okay.
Anywhere from 101 to 96 is kind of my.
Oh, I didn't expect you that way. I thought you were going up, not down, but that works. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
All right. I'm gonna lock it in. Final answer.
You're gonna lock it in. Okay. Before you lock it in, would you like me to give you an interesting fact about it?
I would.
Okay.
I love facts.
So before you lock in, this particular brand, well, not brand, I guess it's actually a particular product, won the San Francisco World Spirits Competition Best in Show of 2019.
All right. That doesn't help me at all, but that's definitely an interesting fact.
Some people know that kind of stuff. Some don't. I'm not a call out. Just wondering if that had any sort of nugget that maybe goes, or no, or somebody might be watching now going, I know he's right or I know he's wrong.
And I will say again, and this is my opinion. So this is just where I'm coming from. So for me, I have certain bourbons. I'm like, oh, it's amazing. I'm going to go buy every bottle I can find of that. And for me, like this is great. If I get it somewhere, I'm not disappointed. I like it. It's great. It's a great pour, great drink, but it's not one that I would clamor to get. So this is one like I would enjoy the hell out of this bottle, but when it's empty, I wouldn't be like in a pinch where I have to find this.
It's
I have to
ironic
get
that
this
you
again.
say that. So if you're sticking with your Russell's guess, I'm going to agree with you 100%. So you're sticking with Russell's?
I am.
Cool. So I will then reveal to you that this is in fact Henry McKenna, 10-year single barrel bottle and bond.
Yeah. So that is
Hill.
hilarious because so a couple of months ago, I've got a couple of those in the cabinet. And, and I had just said, gosh, I forgot how good this is, and just went on about how great it was. And I totally take back my statement a minute ago, because if I saw that on the shelf, I'd buy it up like the world was ending tomorrow. So, that shows how much things can change.
Say that, but the MSRP moved up to 49 on them. So it's like at $49, I'm kind of looking like, gosh, I'm starting to that realm where it's like, store pick I might go to because they're like 55 usually. Yeah. But funny how your mind kind of went around this. Now, again, first drink of the night, first drink of the day, we'll call it, right? Yeah. So started out Old Forester 1910 and Woodford Double Oak on the nose. Well, when you stop and look at the tasting notes, because I pulled tasting notes here, I mean, I have my own thoughts, but on the nose, they say vanilla, caramel, oak, and light herbaceousness. Okay. You said double oak. I think I think this is a little more oaky on the nose than they describe, but I don't think it's over oaked. Yeah. I think it's Heaven Hill Char is 4 on this, I believe. I think. And then taste, they say smooth oak, sharp spices, honey, and sweetness, which is funny that sweetness is the description. Finish is long, sweet, and spicy. So classic Heaven Hill, 75 corn, 13 rye, 12 malted barley. So that was fun. That
was fun. And it's interesting too. And again, I'm not trying to like change things up here in the end, but I initially was thinking Heaven Hill in the sense I was going to go Evan Williams, and the Evan Williams name is escaping me. It is I have the bottle, and it's an Evan Williams. It's like the vintage. It's typically like an 8-year. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think the name of it. Anyways,
off the top of my head too.
Yeah, I was thinking Evan Williams. So it's just funny that it is Heaven Hill, but that was fun. Yeah, it definitely. I thought we were going a different direction there. I would have never guessed what it actually was, and McKenna wasn't even on my mind.
Yeah, and so I missed this early on. Sarah asked if we had the same drink. Yes, we do. But of course, if you're just joining now, we played a little game up front. I had through mutual friends of ours, I made sure Ryan had the same sample that I had in my glass, but he had no idea what it was, and he did actually a really good job picking it apart. The only part that I learned about your palate, which I think part of this exercise is about learning about like your palate. You learn about my palate, so we can kind of compare notes, because when we compare notes, like you picked up on a peanuttiness. Are you still getting that? Even though you know what it is now.
Well,
you are right, because of your palate.
It's gone, so I'm not getting anything right now. I'm not getting anything but thirsty. No, that is come and gone, and that was not a prevailing experience that I had throughout. So again, there are certain ones I get that throughout. That was just kind of one of those things that kind of comes and goes, and so didn't get that. What I will say was that I got a lot of spice. That spice was present throughout, and it wasn't an overbearing spice. Sometimes those ryes, again, I know this isn't a rye, but that's kind of what I associate with the spice is a rye. That's where I get a lot. I know rye. You think I would love a rye, and I like rye. I don't love rye. I like rye.
Well, you what are you gonna do? So anyway, that was fun. I look forward to more. I have. Our mutual friend has given Ryan 8 samples. So over time,
yes.
When Greg's here, of course, we'll make sure the same thing's in Greg's glass, and it'll be up to me whether I let him in the light or the dark on that. I may have both of you. He may be in on it too. I may actually ask him to pick one of the 7 remaining and pour that for me, and then we'll play around with it. We'll have a lot of fun.
Nice.
At any rate. So what are you throwing in your glass next now?
All right. So what's going in the glass now? This is not exactly bottom shelf, but not too far from the bottom shelf. So Cooper's Craft. It is super. I can see that. It is a nice economical pour. And And so, Cooper's Craft, I love the name because this is actually made by Brown Forman. So Brown Forman,
Mm-hmm.
home to Old Forester, one of the few distilleries that actually does their own barreling. They create their own barrels right there. So we got to experience that firsthand. Sarah got to char a barrel, which was awesome.
That was fun.
But I love the play, the Cooper's Craft being the fact that they are also not only a distillery, but a cooperage. So good stuff. It's about a $30 bottle. So not overly expensive. I picked it up just because, I was a sucker for the bottle. Didn't even know who made it, to be honest with you. I just like to collect and get new bourbons, try new bourbons.
It's
And
not
at
the worst.
$30,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong. So it is 882 proof. So it is, it's really down there in terms of
It's just it's a
proofing.
conversational whiskey. Yeah.
But it's a really nice, sweet, easy drink. And so it's one that I like to share with people that come over and maybe haven't had bourbon, or they're brand new to it, still trying to kind of get their footing, figure out what it is they like. This is a really approachable bourbon. It's a good distillery, but it's just good, sweet, good bourbon.
Really
So
approachable.
that's where I'm going to go here for drink number 2.
Sweet. Yeah. I have not had it. I've heard people, obviously say, hey, it's a good entry level. It's a good point. I think that's a great segue to come off of just, get your palate kind of reset. Whatever you're going into the rest of the night. I'm going to jump into, I just fresh cracked tonight on a Baker's 7-year.
Nice.
I've been sitting on this for like a year. I think I got it at one of the liquor stores. It's actually 7-year, 3 months. I had and these are of course single barrel as well. So what we forgot when we talk about the McKenna, just like will apply here, is your mileage will vary whether you get the exact same experience, right? Because they are single barrel products.
Yep.
And so the McKenna, and that's why I kind of step back with the McKenna and say, as it starts to approach, and even with this Baker's a little bit, as it starts to approach $50, $55, $60, a store pick might be a better way to go, because I can usually try those store picks, and I don't have to worry about like, what am I getting from this Baker's? Now, Baker's is a known commodity. McKenna's a known commodity. But the store picks, most of the stores, I don't know about up by you, but they've got them all open. You can try them in the store. So, they're trying to move that product. So I usually know.
So that's experience I don't get here. And maybe it's just the liquor stores around me in Ohio, but I know in Carolina, a lot of times you could go in there and taste. They'd have vendors there, and you could taste samples, but that's just not something that I've seen here in the OHLQ stores. Now, maybe others from Ohio, have had some situations like that where they have, but again, our experience here is just not a great one. We've got the lottery to try to get, the bottles that are harder to find. Yeah, Nick,
there you go.
Totally agree. Ohio sucks for a multitude of reasons,
but
bourbon is one. So yeah, that it's just, again, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, in terms of how Ohio does the whole thing with spirits.
OHLQ messes everything up. Oh, Nick, yep. It's on the internet now. They're going to come after you, boy.
The internet's forever, Nick.
Yeah, I'm not too upset with Florida here. We are able to do quite a lot. I mean, it's not the entire Wild Wild West down here necessarily, but we don't get shut down. So like the liquor stores down here, obviously allow you to have like a half-ounce sample. They don't pour you like a Russo pour or a big old dram or anything. But they want to move their product. And I think a lot, it may or may not be in the perfectly black and white. It might be a little bit in the gray, but they do it. And, and now some of them are even getting liquor licenses where they're going to open a full tasting bar,
nice.
Like kind of like Justin's House of Bourbon, like in Louisville. So the one down in Sarasota that we go to a lot, Dive, it's also Sarasota Liquor Locker, same company. They have like a little speakeasy looking thing. You can see it from like their back of their store, but it's kind of like a speakeasy feel. And you can go back there, and that's what they do with their allocated. Like if they only get one or two bottle allocated, they'll tuck one away to put in the locker for a raffle at retail, and they'll put the other one behind the bar, and you can come grab a pour. And I'm like, that's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about Justin. So you can say what you will about the secondary market and the fact that, sometimes their prices are not great. But I think like you and I saw, just going into Justin's and being able to taste the majority of what you want to do before you buy it, that saved me a lot of money to buy a pour and save myself from buying a $75 bottle that is not good.
Can you imagine where
I've done that?
Like as consumers, where we've come from. At least I don't know. I talk for myself, I guess. And I think I know. I'd probably speak for you a little, and at least others. I used to look at it and go, man, why would I want a $20 pour at a bar? Like that's silly. And now I'm like, yes, please, I'll take the $20 pour so I can see if I like it.
Exactly.
It's just
and it's heartbreaking when you love it and you can't get it. A prime example again when you and I were together and we enjoyed that Parker's Heritage, and
yeah.
I fell in
Oh,
love with that
good
pour,
luck.
and
Good
I'll
luck.
never have that bottle. I'll never get the bottle.
It
But
dipped
hey,
on
it was
secondary, and I
great.
should have snapped up. And I have a problem paying that. I mean, it's not, not doing the whole whatever, but I just have a problem coming out of the pocketbook and doing it. It's could I?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, but why am I going to come out $500? Like
yeah.
I want to Rock Hill Farms in the worst way, but I'm not
Yeah.
willing to come off 4.25 for it. I'm just not. Um, so I'll have to get something of equal value. I'll come across and have to trade for it or something, or sell and not sell. We can't do that, right? But so Nick, if you're still on, I'm gonna shoot you something. So look for your Facebook. Galetto's on. Second bottle of Manti Whiskey Society pick. I'll have to pull that one out. I hadn't actually, Andy. I had said your name. Sorry, Galetto. I hadn't actually pulled, but we got a double oak. You brought up wood for double oak earlier.
Nice.
We actually have a wood for double oak pick for our local whiskey society. And the label is actually the guy that runs the Manatee Whiskey Society, and they kind of dressed him up like they have some fairy makeup and stuff on there. And of course, those labels, they get fun. I may open that later instead of going to my third one, but I don't know. My third one's already poured, so we'll see. But
so
no,
it's funny you say that. You talk about the barrel picks. I'm a sucker for the stickers that they put on the barrel picks. That's probably one of my favorite parts. I did my first barrel pick. I joined the Gym City Bourbon Society here in the Dayton area, and finally got to be in one of the picks. And again, it's just, I think obviously it's great bourbon when anytime you can go in with a group and get your own barrel. That's always exciting. But again, I'm a sucker for the artwork that goes on these things and just seeing kind of what they reveal with that. So
what are you able to say?
I did not get a Derby bottle, unfortunately.
What's that? You didn't get a Derby
Nick was
bottle?
asking. Did not get a Derby bottle.
No, Costco. They probably don't have it anymore, but always check Costco like around second week of April. They have the 1 liters usually. Yeah. I don't know. Ours might still have it because for whatever, it doesn't sell at ours. I don't know what's going on. Maybe now that the Derby got close, it did. That was wild though. I don't know if you watched the Derby today. Whew. But
I didn't. So I called up to see. I mean, it sounds like if you played the money and went for the long shot, it paid off today.
The horse, like the trainer just found out they could enter the horse on Friday. Because one of the horses dropped out, and it was like literally less than a minute until the deadline. They called him, I guess, and they're like, "We're less than a minute. We have to know." And he's like, "Yes." And they said that they had been training the horse to go to Belmont, so they knew that he was ready because they set his rest schedule the way so he could have run today if he had to, or yesterday if he was going to run him over at in Keeneland, right at the stakes or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know much about it, but no.
I don't either, but since I started like drinking bourbon, I thought I probably should start following horse racing too.
Eventually, I think we're all just gonna move to Western Kentucky. Is what's gonna happen.
Here we go.
Yeah, get ready, Western Kentucky. Get ready. Oh goodness, what was the pick you did?
What's that?
What was the pick you did?
Oh, so we got to do. It was Yellowstone. It was a Yellowstone pick, which I've liked Yellowstone a long, long time. So Stephen Beam. He's got a really great thing going there. And so the Yellowstone, bourbons, they're just really, I've always enjoyed them. They're very unique. I've got 3 different bottles and they're 3 completely different experiences, because again, they're all barrel picks. And so they're all very different, but yeah, got in on that one. And, of course it's my favorite one. So some of that, is probably the psychological piece because it's our bottle. Sure. It's the Gym City Bourbon Society, but it just has a lot of characteristics that I don't always get in the Yellowstone. And again, it hits my dial with the sweetness. And that's kind of what's
the only one I've had. It's just their Yellowstone Select.
Nice.
I have not been in a hurry to finish it. I'll probably revisit it now because put that back. To be really honest, when I bought that bottle and opened it, it was probably one of the first bottles I ever bought when I was like, let me try this bourbon thing out, this whiskey thing. And probably the wrong place to jump in, but
it is. It's different, and that Yellowstone. So I've had a lot of different bourbons that I've tried. And in Yellowstone, when I cracked that bottle for the first time, the particular one that you just showed, that style, that offering, it was the first one I ever got citrus and fruit from. I've never gotten that from a bourbon. that was probably the first one that I ever experienced that with. Four Roses is another one I get it with. I'm not a huge Four Roses fan. I'll be honest. It's probably one of my least favorite bourbons. And I hate to say that because, it is such a well-known bourbon, but it's just not my thing.
Dude,
That's probably one.
Dude, we had a thing going with Four Roses. You're going to ruin it.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm with you. I'm not a huge Four Roses fan. You're for the same reason you are. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, not at all. It's just, again, it's I'm sure it's a fine bourbon. It's just not. It doesn't hit my palate.
With
just like there are things I like
and all the other things. I've just not found one that I like. I've never been off put by Four Roses.
Yeah.
Make it 100% clear. But I just never found one. But I have a couple buddies that are just like, Four Roses is it. It is the bourbon. It is the, I'm like, yeah, okay, good for you. Wow.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Peanut?
All about finding your bourbon.
You want to talk about Peanut? This
I do.
7-year. Yeah. All day.
Nice.
But it's a Beam product, right? So we know that. So there's a chance you're going to get that. But yeah. Nick or Galetta, if you're still on, when you guys want to join us, let me know.
Come on down.
Yeah, send you a link. I doubt I'll hear that from Galetto, but Nick maybe. Generally, good idea if you have headphones or AirPods, whatever. It'd be fun. Four Roses small batch. Okay, small batch select. You get some of the specialty products by Four Roses, sure. I think I don't even remember. OBSK was the one I think I liked the most. Okay. But see, that's the problem. If you're gonna make me think that much, I guess I have a short attention span and I'm a spoiled consumer. I don't know. But if you're gonna make me think that much, I have to remember all these letters and all that. Yeah. So
all right. So I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna blow up the set here a minute. Now that we're talking, I have a bottle that I've never opened before of Four Roses. And tonight
you're fine. I can still hear you really well, so you're good.
All right. So tonight's the night.
Tonight's the
I
night.
Find it. It's somewhere here.
I'll pull it off you for a minute, and when you clue me in that,
you want to pull it off me, I'll figure out where it is.
That's fine. We'll go that route.
We'll go from there.
Yeah, Nick, if you're still there, I'm gonna drop something in your Facebook, and if you're interested, come on in. If not, that's cool too. Understanding. So, let me do that while Ryan is searching, and he alerts me that he has found.
See, the bad thing is, I have a spreadsheet of my bourbons, but I don't have them
spreadsheet. But you need locations like pick bin number 7.
Warehouse 3.
Warehouse 3. Listen at you.
I'm not there yet, but that is a dream.
I'm on my phone walking around prepping for brunch.
All right.
So Galetta, you're a no, or I'll drop it to you, buddy. You tell me. That's what this hangout's all about. Like, this is not a regular show for us. We might be kind of going in the vein of a regular show, sort of, but it's not a true regular show.
Regular.
Nothing. Well, yikes. We don't want to go that personal. Okay.
All right. Here it is. This is the Four Roses Small Batch Select.
That's what he was talking about. That's what Nick was talking about. I think this is get Ryan drunk night is what this almost is. This is your third pour. You're a manimal.
Yes.
A manimal.
Manimal. All right. This might be my third and final drink down. We'll see.
I don't blame you. Yeah, it's fine.
Or it might be man down.
Man down. All
right.
Let it breathe a little. Spin her up.
So this is 104 proof. So
yeah.
I don't know what is Four Roses typically at. I'll be honest. I'm not a Four Roses man.
I believe I don't know they usually range anywhere in that low hundreds, and then you can get you absolutely can get some barrel proofs, right? They do have that. Maybe that's part of maybe the whole thing is I just don't know enough about Four Roses. I need to educate myself because I don't want to put all on them. It is a me thing, right?
Well, you know what, Nate? I think maybe we just need to take a trip down to Four Roses. We need to go through the tour. We need to understand what's going on there. Let's understand Four Roses.
Hey, I mean, we tried, but it was so here's what we learned about the Bourbon Trail. Do not go on Veterans Day weekend.
No. Don't. Or Valentine's Day weekend.
I'm assuming it's any quasi-holiday or holiday weekend because reservations are impossible. Impossible. If it wasn't for the nice lady at Old Forester, we wouldn't have done Old Forester either. But when I called that morning, she was like, yeah, we can squeeze 4 of you in. I'm like, oh, you're so sweet. Oh, that's great.
Another thing I learned as well. So I went in February. Do not do the Bourbon Trail after a snowstorm. Those roads are treacherous when they're dry and in normal conditions.
I don't think I had to do Bardstown in February.
When it's, it's scary.
I think I'd only do Louisville or Lexington and wander out to, which you threw me off a little because By the way, just so you know, you threw me off a little because you associated wild turkey with Bardstown, which I was like, really? Like, I don't think that's technically
Oh, you know what? No, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah,
earlier on.
that
So if
should
you're
have been
just
my
tuning
hit.
in, we
Yeah.
did like a little what's in your glass, and I kind of had Wally. Sorry, if I call him Wally, nickname that he had from when we've known each other for a long time. I didn't give it to him. He had it before I got to know him. Ryan, yeah. So we played a game. I had Ryan through a mutual friend, had the same sample I had. And yeah, so anyway, about the whole thing, I let him ask questions, and so he narrowed it down to like being the whiskey being from Bardstown. And then he kind of got on this turkey tangent. I'm like, oh, he didn't pick up on that. That like he said Bardstown, but turkey's kind of way out in the middle of the sticks. So
yeah, and so what should have tipped me off is when you first said Louisville, because you got never mind. I'm on the wrong track there. I was thinking Evan Williams.
Yeah, well, no, and I think I kind of
which is Heaven Hill, but
I kind of spun you around there because I was like, oh crap, Heaven Hill. I was thinking Stitzel Weller. I was legit thinking Stitzel Weller, even though I knew it was Heaven Hill. I mean, I had my sheet in front of me. I knew it was Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
But when you asked, is it Louisville? I'm like, well, it's not downtown Louisville. It's not. I had to think. Anyway, we're off on tangent.
Don't feel bad. At the end of the day, I wasn't going to even come. I was never going to select that.
Good, man. So. You did. So the other part that impressed me was like, you're like, oh, I'm terrible at some of this, that, and the other. So with it being a bottle and bond, it's 100 proof. You said proof range of 96 to 101. I'm like, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed that.
That's dumb luck.
Not really.
All right. So
that's the best way to do it is give 5-point range. Go ahead.
I'll tell you, I'm into this Four Roses, and it is as unenjoyable as the original. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's just not good. I do not like Four Roses.
No. You don't like Four Roses? I thought you were going to turn. I thought you were putting a 180 there. I thought you were like, and I love it.
I wish I could. It's it's kind of like. It's almost like drinking a little bit of Scope without the mint. It's not really enjoyable. I'm going to choke this one down, but yeah, it's just not my thing. There's certain ones you just want to like. I think this is one I actually had my parents get me. They went down to the Bourbon Trail a couple months ago, just hit a couple places, hit the gift shops, didn't do the tours, and Four Roses is one they went to. And so I had them pick this one up for me, and glad they did. It's one I'm going to be happy to share with my guests when they come over here to the bar, but it's not one I will be partaking in. All right, mate? Yeah.
Hey, Nick, you want some Four Roses?
So, Nick, when you come over to the bar, I'll pour you all the small batch select you want.
No, like I said, I've had plenty of friends in our tasting area that love it. I won't call them out by name because whatever. I tend to think they have great palates too, all these people. So, it's kind of like one of those things like, what am I missing? Like, am I missing something? But no, it just comes down to personal preference at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, and that's what it is. Again, they're obviously a great company. They've been around a long time. They got a lot of fans. I'm just not one.
Not a fan. Not a fan. So Sarah said Old Forester, great tour. Yeah, it was. We hit on a little earlier, but you're exactly right. I'm glad we were able to call and do that. So I am looking forward to the Bourbon Trail trip. I really am.
It's always enjoyable.
I think we took as best an approach we could, not knowing what we didn't know. And now that we know what we know, I definitely could see it's like, okay, pick Bardstown or pick Louisville or pick Lexington and decide you're doing Buffalo Trace, Turkey, and all that, right? Don't try to do two because you can.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but again, I think the way we did it was great. And I tell people too, if you want to drive and hit some really great places, hit Bardstown, do that. But if you want to just, if you want to chill in Louisville and be able to walk to a number of really cool ones, that's also a great option as well. I mean, we had a great hotel, great dining. We could walk to all the distilleries. I mean, Louisville, I'd never been there prior to that. And it's a great city. I mean, obviously I'm biased from a bourbon standpoint, but even outside of the bourbon, it's just a really cool city.
The Louisville pizza wasn't too.
The pizza, it's not. I will say.
I don't know if it was that place or just their style. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm a
it
New
was
York
serviceable food.
Guy.
We were all right.
It was. Yeah, we didn't go hungry. I'll say that.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've had a chance to tell you, I'm going on a pizza crawl at the end of the month in New Jersey.
Nice. Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you follow Barstool El Prez, all his pizza.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Like, so when I went to visit my buddy Andy, not neighbor Andy, buddy Andy in Jersey, we stopped at Santillo's. Was the first place he took me from the airport.
Oh,
and
cool.
It was amazing. Like, it was exactly like you saw on the review. You walk down the side alley of this guy's house and he has a storm door with it cracked open at the bottom. You put your money in a milk jug. You have to have exact change, or he recommends you. And they just slide the pizza through the door. You don't even go in. And when you have that kind of just like, the gabagool, right? When you have kind of like just moxie gabagool, like you have to just like expect it. And it was spectacular. It was
that
great.
is awesome. So, again, I love New York pizza. It's kind of my passion here is just finding different places. But I got to tell you, in your neck of the woods, when we were down in Florida, you have a pretty nice gem of a New York pizza joint you took us to. I don't know if that was in Tampa or where that was.
Eddie and Sam's is in Tampa, and they truck down New York water. So that's their secret to their success. Now, we did Eddie and Sam's, oh gosh, it's going on 9 months at least, if not a year ago now. We were underwhelmed by it. But it could have just been a one-time thing. I'm not going to chalk it up. But we widely do not have great pizza down here. So, that's sad. Well, we have like great sunshine, like pizza that go along with like craft beer and cocktails. Like we have like the white pizza with spinach and whatever, baby shallots or something. I don't know.
That's a hard pass for me.
Well, I try it. I'll try a slice. That's about it. It's like you can do. Hey, I see that old elk over your right shoulder there.
Yes.
Yeah. Which so no, just in general. Have you tried the Infinity Blend yet?
No. So I didn't even realize that was a thing until a couple days ago. So I follow Old Elk on Instagram and saw that, and it's no secret, or maybe it is a secret to the show. I don't know, but I love Old Elk. And you've got the elk duds, which I'm very jealous of. I'm hoping in my sample bottles there might be an elk dud in there.
I've got to let you down and tell you there's not.
It is what it is. Anyway, love Old Elk.
In the back of my mind here, real quick. In the back of my mind, that bottle's not going to die until you get a taste of it. So,
all right, fair enough. But yeah, love Old Elk. I prefer the weeded. Again, that's my thing. So I really like their weeded stuff. They're standard. It's just pretty.
I'm with you. I don't like the sour mash as much.
It's just okay for me. But their weeded really stands out. Back to the Infinity Blend. Haven't had it. Would love to know more about it if you've got some of the deets.
So we went, we affectionately called it a mandate. Whatever. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. Neighbor Andy, myself, another neighbor, and one of neighbor Andy's good friends that I've met through him went out to a dinner in St. Pete. And we stopped in a bar that had a good whiskey selection prior to. And I look up and I'm like, they got Infinity Blend. I haven't seen it on the shelf often. I mean, I've seen it before. Let's do it. And I was blown away. It was everything I wanted. It had the beautiful, just like middle front palate had a little bite. Middle palate had a little sweetness. Back palate just really finished off and came down and gave me a nice hug. And a long finish on it. Super impressed with it. Probably my favorite Old Elk. Now, they have 2 new products this year coming out. And I'm going to mess it up. So I'm going to look up what that is, because if I don't recall what they are, I will get it wrong. But they did a blend. It's called a double wheat was one of them. And so they blended essentially 2 different wheats. And then the other one was, as I'm pulling up Instagram, so they call 4 grain. So they also did a 4 grain recipe that's coming out this year. So I'm excited about that. And that's basically their Infinity series. So it's going to be the same bottling and everything like that, where they'll have the black label as far as I can tell.
Nice.
So I'm super excited for that, because like I'm starting to love their specialty products along with their wheat products. So
that's awesome.
Absolutely. So I just brought that up. So Nick has 2 questions for you guys. Do either of us watch the Moonshine shows? I have before. And did I watch the Elijah Craig episode? No. So I've not seen that. You, Ryan?
I haven't. So it's funny. The Moonshine guys. So we used to have a place down in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, and there's a distillery down there. And so haven't seen the show in a long time, but I guess there's some ties with the guy that owns that distillery and a lot of the guys on Moonshiners. So would love to check that out more, but definitely would love to hear more about the Elijah Craig episode, because I love Elijah Craig.
Well, I got to guess through Prohibition, because I mean, one of the things you picked up, because Elijah Craig was obviously part of the feature at the Old Forester tour. And so they told us obviously about like some of the medicinal licensing and all that, but you obviously know that the medicinal licensing was a wink situation. It was like, hey. And it was being used for medicinal. There's no doubt you could go and get a prescription for, 1,000 milliliters a month. That'd be a liter, I guess. We should just call it that, right? But I kind of wonder. So they tried to recreate his original recipe.
Oh, that's
heard about. I saw. Okay, you say that. I did. Remember seeing something about the description of that. I don't think it's possible, unfortunately, like because of the yeast, primarily, right? Supposedly, so on that same topic, if you read Pappyland, have you read it?
I haven't. No.
You should get it. It's like $9 on Amazon or audiobook or whatever. It's really good. It's Wright Thompson, who you probably heard on ESPN like College Game Day, but he's getting into being an author, writing some books, and he got to know Julian Van Winkle really well. And
nice.
On that same topic, so they were like, how could we recreate the original Van Winkle? Because what's being put out by Buffalo Trace today is the closest facsimile they can get to it. So probably a lot like this whole episode of Moonshiners, right? Where like you can only get so close with modern ingredients and what you know. You can genetically modify yeast now and all that stuff. It's crazy. But Julian Van Winkle at one point in the Pappyland book said there's probably somewhere in some big old city a refrigerator with our yeast from the original Pappy Van Winkle. And he's probably right. Yeah. Because when they recovered the old Stitzer-Weller facility and all that, they probably just took it, or who knows? They might have been dumbasses and thrown it away. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. That it's funny you say that too, just because that distillery, even though Pappy's long gone, from those grounds, I know when you and I were there, just being there, and I think that's one of the coolest things about that tour is, that's his place. That's Pappy's distillery, and just the history in those walls and in those warehouses. It was really cool being there. And I think too, in terms of I think it was the Gun and Garden Club they had there where we went up and had drinks. That was one of the coolest places I think we got to have drinks at the distillery. So I say that because, if you haven't been there, check it out. Great place. Right now it's Bow and Blade or Blade and Bow. I don't know
Blade and Bow
which one it is. Yeah. I didn't feel like a lot of the bourbons we tasted there were remarkable bourbons, but
they're all
I think just from a historical perspective,
they're trying to live off the Orphan Barrel program and build a Blade and Bow brand. Where the Orphan Barrel is, they're saying they're putting some amount of some of the old barrels that were left over from the rick houses there on site. So you're talking like Muckety Muck and Old Blowhard and some of those guys. And a lot of those you can still find at retail, but retail on them is $150, $170. And they're 22 to 26-year-old juice. So you're, or the age statement on them is that supposedly, or they contain it. Anyway, I don't know. Stitzel-Weller, I was super excited to go because I know the history. And when you pull in, the stack says Old Fitzgerald because after they were basically Stitzel-Weller, they did Old Fitzgerald production. And so what I will say about Stitzel-Weller was I love that they preserved the history. I think that was amazing. I did not get the greatest vibe off it. Like the Blade and Bow brand to me, it's decent juice. Like, don't get me wrong. If you hate me calling it juice, then hate me. I don't care. But it felt a little forced to me on the Blade and Bow side of things. So that was my only thing. Let Blade and Bow breathe. Let it be what it's going to be. And then we'll see where it goes from there. So I don't know. An enjoyable thing. Do not skip it if you have the opportunity to go. Like, I'll tell you that. So, and you're right. Gun and Garden Club was awesome upstairs. We didn't even have any of the appetizers, which I've heard like food. Like we tried to crash wheel it, and they're like, no. But I've heard all the food on the trail, if you're a foodie, is just spectacular. Now I have a limited palate, unfortunately, for food, so that's me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But did you pour anything else, or are you just working on?
So I'm kind of so I've gone through that again, and I got to say, so I was very harsh on this thing when I poured it,
right?
And as I drank it, it became a little bit more enjoyable. I will say it even kind of took on like an iced tea type of flavor. So that sounds weird.
No, it's very valid.
It was, and I guess what I mean by that is kind of sweetness, a little bit of herbal.
Teas in the realm. No, don't.
So it actually, now that I say that, I'm like, you know what? I'll probably revisit that bottle and see what I think. So I don't hate it. I was very hard on it early on. It's kind of grown on me, but I don't love it. But it was good.
But I don't love it.
I don't love it.
Don't love it. Well, I moved on. So
what have you moved on to?
I love that Baker's. The Baker's was my second pour off it. Oh, you know what I have already, don't you?
Well, so before you turn it around, I don't, but I do know this is going to be a specialty offering for Maker's Mark. And let me just say, Maker's Mark on the opposite end of of Four Roses. Maker's Mark has never made a bad bourbon. So everything they put out, in my opinion, is phenomenal.
Some of the stave finishes I read are kind of wild. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to try truffle. Like, I don't in bourbon.
So
know,
it depends on the truffle. Are we talking truffle the mushroom? Now, I have a milk chocolate truffle offering that is phenomenal. It's deep chocolate notes.
Truffle. Maybe I read it wrong. I don't know.
I think you did. If it's a mushroom truffle, you let me know because I want to try that.
Probably read it wrong. We're good.
Well,
this is FAEO2.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. So textured forward expression, full-bodied notes with toasted oak and rich, creamy finish. 10 virgin French oak staves. I've had this once before. This is a fresh crack of this bottle. Do you have one as well? Is that what you're going to pour now?
I thought let's do that one together. Yeah.
All right. I'll pull it on single for me while you're locating it. But yeah, so I've had this before once, but this was a thank you bottle that I received from Dave Cameron.
Nice.
He's been on stream before. He doesn't mind that I out his whole name. And I have most certainly enjoyed Maker's Mark products. And occasionally I'm jealous because some of the things I see like Christmas sugar cookie. I'm like, oh, I need that. And you can never find it because they do their regional releases and all that. Now, here's the other thing I'll tell you. If you find yourself in Chicago for some crazy reason, sign up to be an ambassador for Makers. I need to, but I don't. I would spend way too much money, Nick. I don't know if you know me, but I get a little obsessive compulsive about stuff.
Hey, you sign up for that, you get your own business cards. I just signed up a couple months ago. I had a big welcome packet. I have business cards now that tell people I'm an ambassador, and it's great.
Seriously?
Yeah, legit.
You're an ambassador?
I am an ambassador.
To the country of Maker's Mark?
Yes, I now have.
It's a joke.
I'm now an ambassador. I have a bad little.
Get your own barrel? Have you got your own barrel?
Yes. It won't be ready for a few years, but I'll be able to go get it in about 6-7 years.
Seriously?
Not the barrel, a bottle from the barrel.
Oh, well, how did I not know about this? See, this is why I don't go down the rabbit hole, because if I go down the rabbit hole, we're gonna have problems. Like,
yes, there is a barrel with my name on it, and apparently, Nick, we both have our names on the barrel right now, resting in the Rick House at Makers.
Does this cost any money?
It is free. That's the best part. Absolutely.
Well, you got to buy the bottle once the bottle's available, obviously.
You don't have to. You have the option, but you're entitled to one free tour every year as an ambassador. There are definitely perks. They emailed me and let me know before the Maker's 46 bottle changed. Said, hey, we're changing the bottle. If you want to buy the old bottle with the old shape, now's your chance, because we're going to tell the public this is changing. And I just saw on the liquor store shelves, it's changed.
What a marketing thing. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
No. He just said no. No. Nick, I sent you the link. Come join us. Get on here. If you're halfway presentable, who cares? Who cares? Just have your ear. I don't know why I'm tapping my headphones.
That's how the pecan pie. Yes,
I have a.
He told me about that one. I want to try that.
Well, we talked about that. Yes. So Nick is apparently going to come down for the Bengals game at the very minimum, which we don't know the schedule yet. It comes out in a week, right? May 12th.
Nice. Yes.
I imagine things will start leaking here pretty soon. Like, we already know who's the overseas games and things like that. Got to get the kids to sleep. Well, we're going to be on for a little while longer. So, okay. No worries. We'll be here. I know you need to pour something after you put the kids to sleep. You're going to need a little nightcap for yourself. Besides, I'm getting in this Woodford. I'm actually going to open it as we're talking.
Woodford.
Now, that is one that I want to do too, is Woodford, for sure.
Yes. I definitely want to do Woodford. There's a couple of different ones that I'd like to do. I will say going to
Woodford is harder and harder to get into.
Yeah. Well, and that double oak is becoming a very sought after bottle. So as someone who loves that bottle, I don't love the fact that it's becoming more and more known. I think it was a well-kept secret for a while, and it's really at that price point. 56 is where it's been. It can keep a lot of people away that are kind of on the fringe, but I think people are kind of breaking through now and realizing that, it's really, really good stuff. But yeah, they're doing some cool stuff at Woodford.
A little mojo rising, a little break on through to the other side.
But back to makers.
My reaction. You changed
I don't say this because I'm an ambassador, but
no, I don't say this because
everything they do is just, for me, it's great. And it really starts with the fact that it's that same mash bill going in, and they're going to experiment with staves, but it's good shit.
So Maker's 46 cask is probably just for the basic stuff. That's my favorite. Holy shit, that FAO2 is good.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what the FAE stands for?
I hope you're going to enlighten me because I've never even looked.
Fatty acid esters. I don't know what that means, but
in other words, you don't know.
But I don't know what that means.
We're going to find out.
It almost sounds like a motor oil or something. FAEO2.
We're going to find out. I don't know. I'm reading, so hopefully it doesn't look really boring to people, but finished AE. It's probably really simple. I just Googled what does the FAA mean on Maker's Mark, and no. Wood finish series.
So I guess you need to ask, what are fatty acid esters?
Oh, you were serious.
Oh, no, that is the real thing. That is what it means. I don't know what that means.
I thought you were messing with me.
I wasn't pulling that out of my ass. That is legit. I just don't know what.
Like you were pulling.
I don't know what fatty acid esters are.
It definitely sounds like you were pulling it out of your ass. So you thought I was Googling fatty acid esters, huh?
Yes.
Oh, well, I can do that. So have the technology.
We need to.
Assuming it has to do with. They're saying the other woods. Oh, it's 3-chloropropane and 1,2-diol MCPD.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Talking like our friend Curtis right now, but it'd probably be very inappropriate. So between you and I, sucrose fatty acid esters in chemistry, particularly in biochemistry, a fatty acid is a carboxylic acid. Okay, I'm done reading that. So we clearly are not scientists.
All we know is they taste good, apparently.
They taste good. I mean, so maybe, never mind. It's like fatty, maybe I taste good. We're not, no.
Bartender.
We're an hour in. This is where this goes on Hangout night.
Hangout night is getting weird.
It really is. So you have FAO2 with me as well.
I do. Yes. I am with you in glass.
I am. So I hate this. Just so you know, it's a first world problem. It is a problem, whatever. Right now, I'm left nostril dominant because you switched, right?
And
it's not my nostril. It's not my favorite nostril. I don't know why I know that, but it is.
All right. The theme of weird is staying strong.
Damn it, Ryan. Listen.
My dominant nostril. Oh, I did not know we had dominant nostrils.
You actually do. Most people do, I should say.
I honestly did not know that.
I'm going to Google that one day and send it to you just randomly.
So also, Sharon, I'm left-handed, but I'm right-handed, but my left nostril is my dominant nostril.
Wouldn't that make sense? No.
I mean, I don't know.
We've gone way too far into that. We're done with that. Why did you play into that? Like, see, I sucked you in on that, didn't I? I was like, come on in. Let's talk weird here.
Come on into the kingdom of weird.
Yes, with your ambassador card, please.
If I'm the ambassador of weird, you'll be the king of weird. How's that work?
Then you're the archbishop, okay? That's all I have to say about that. Or the duke. You're the Duke of Weird.
I about inhaled FAEO2. That would not have been good.
Fatty acid ester.
Oh boy.
Is it say on the back? I don't know. Maybe I should read, huh? Maybe we should read. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I don't want to read it out loud to people, but maybe that'll help me educate folks.
Yes, let's get educated. What we got here?
Send out a creator to pay homage to unique copper still design. It even says this approach retains more of the fatty acid esters in our bourbon, resulting in bigger fruit notes and viscosity. So it is like motor oil. See?
Yeah.
It's like 10W30. up in here.
Yes. Well, again, I think even the stuff that's up there, it's packed with flavor. And again, that's what I love about makers. They do it right, and I was blown away by
Mr.
the
Colony.
size of their operation. So when I first came into bourbon, I thought, oh, I have no interest in going to Maker's Mark. It's going to be this massive factory sitting someplace. It's not going to be a cool tour. It's literally a farm, and they pump out all this stuff out of this unassuming building. It's really, really pretty awesome tour. Highly recommended. Just don't go there after a snowstorm.
I'm enamored with the flavor.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go on like a diatribe trying to describe it because it's just the sweetness to me. See, this is the weird part. I get in that weird sweetness realm where it's like, what exactly is it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
but the French oak stave, because I've had a lot of French oak. So like Chateauguay East does French oak or Hungarian oak or American oak finishes. So the French oak is really familiar to me. So that part I'm getting, man, it's almost like a burnt vanilla with like, I don't know. There's like a slight floral to it. So I don't know. That's what I get.
It's again. I hate the term complex, but their stuff really is that stuff with the stave. It gets to be complex in a good way, not in a bad, weird way. But yes.
I don't know.
My problem is I start hitting this stuff late in the night. So after having 3 or 4 bourbons, and I start dabbing in the stuff that's 110 proof, that gets a little bit scary.
I was gonna pull
that can make for a bad Sunday.
I was doing the McKenna with you, which is bottle and bond, and I pulled the Bakers, and I had 123.4 staves and grain back here. I was gonna pull last, and then I knew I was gonna have one more because I'm gonna pour this Woodford Double Oak, which is probably only 90, so it's not gonna hurt, but. Well, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt as bad.
And not going to hurt as bad as a Booker's.
I can get the Bookers. We can do that. Yeah. Oh, man. So you like Bookers, right? You're a Bookers guy.
Oh, I love Bookers, yeah.
Bookers is a weird animal. Like, I really didn't have a lot of experience with Bookers until I bought this one. And the first pour is rough. Like, it's the worst first pour I've had. And I don't mean that it was bad. I just mean as compared to your second pour.
It is. Yeah, it definitely amplifies, and that's going to be with any bourbon, I think, especially your first one of the night. But those are different animals, and I do love the fact that they're also very unique. So I've only got 2, to be honest with you, that I still have possession of. The one I picked up in Louisville was the Bardstown collection, which it's pretty decent. But the one I've been hanging on to, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I just don't ever want it to go away. So I'm real careful about sipping it, but it's the Country Ham. Country Ham, in my opinion, was one of the best that they ever did. And it's such a phenomenal pour.
Oh, ASMR, folks, rejoice. Hang on.
Say that one for Greg.
Yeah. Country Ham? Is it just smoky and meaty? Like not true meat, but like.
So their names have nothing to do with any of the flavor profile. So it's always something. It has a story. And so the Country Ham is just talking about the time and the care and the preparation that goes into this bourbon is the same thing that the No family did with their country hams, and the curing of the meat and the slow cooking and that type of thing. So no play whatsoever in terms of the.
Is it like flavor. 2 big old Christmas hams?
Yeah, probably so.
It's 2 big old Christmas hams. So Derek, the guy that was on the picture earlier,
yes,
that I showed you on the Woodford bottle, obviously his pick. So this is a Woodford Double Oaked Manatee Whiskey Society. You have your Gem City. We're just Manatee Whiskey Society.
Yes.
He picked it in collaboration with Eskimo Brothers, who is another local group. Well, they're not local. Their leadership is local, I guess the best way to say it. We won't go to that. But they are, and they're affiliated with Dive and all the places down here I mentioned to you. And so Derek typically is his flavor profiles are pretty spot on. He said this is one of the best candy bar profiles he's had out of Woodford ever. And so
nice.
In my less dominant nostril, he's not wrong. Like the chocolate and the nougat caramel ish coming off this. Like when I say nougat, I mean like legit nougat. Nougat. Oh, what are
All
you
right, I'm
pouring?
gonna have to do
Do
one.
DOL?
So it's not going to be the exact as yours. Obviously, this is double oak standard off the
You
OHLQ
know it's a
shelf.
part of when ladies' man's been quoted.
That's
Excuse me,
right.
can I buy you a 5th sandwich?
All right. This is going to be my final pour, but this is a good nightcap for me. This has always been a dessert bourbon, but I don't get chocolate in just kind of the standard, so that's
No,
awesome that
no, 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 no.
you're getting
In
some of
fact, I
that.
was very let down. Well, you were there. You know that they had a chocolate malt. They did 3, 4 years ago at this point, maybe 5. I was very let down by it. Like when they did a pure chocolate malt instead of their
Yeah.
base malt, just wasn't good. It was drying and astringent.
So not to delve too far back into the episode here, but how we started things out with my blind tasting, and I had talked about on the nose. I thought maybe this could be Woodford Double Oak, and now that I'm taking the nose on this thing, they aren't close at all. This thing much sweeter, much more aroma. So it's just kind of interesting that I said that when
I got
actually
double oak
hitting
over
this.
here. I just haven't. But no. So this is this is what I love about single barrel picks. So like I do recall what just straight Woodford Double Oak is, and it's a favorite. It's just a solid pour. This thing what I wanted out of the chocolate notes in that chocolate malt Woodford, this has it. And
Nice.
so I'll make sure you get some of this too. I mean,
Yes, I'm gonna say save that
I
one. I
think there's
definitely want
bottles left at one of the liquor stores. I'll grab one for you if not. But our friend can make sure you get it. So
yes, well, our friend's gonna make sure you get a couple things here. I've got
our
one
friend
so.
should have my Weller foolproof that I just send you.
Yes, our friend will
Notification
be
that our
getting
friend would
that.
like to pick it up.
Yes,
So
if you'd like to see it.
no, I don't need.
I think
You want to see it?
I actually. So, you want to see it? Is Chris Baxter here on the stream?
He's not. I'm gonna get him on one day though. I promise you. He's into bourbon. He
Is he? Nice.
He's got a decent little collection. Yeah. So I mean, he really is.
Awesome.
You know that kid. Here's the thing. If I was like, hey, come on the show, like I love him and I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive. I love him. If he watches and see this, he's gonna laugh and agree. He would have 95 more bottles of bourbon tomorrow. That's what would happen. It's just who he is. It's his personality, and I love him for it.
That's awesome.
But yeah. OMG. Yeah. Nick's like, oh, I forget. You can see the chat come through before I put it up, can't you?
Yes, I can.
Learning. Yeah. Nick, got those kids to bed yet? What? I don't know.
All right, Nick, what we're gonna do sometime, we're gonna have you come over here and we will be on one screen and we'll have Nate and Greg on one screen.
Well,
we'll do 4 drinks down.
I don't know when, but at some point I'm going to be in Ohio to do some live shows.
Nice.
It will not be soon. When soon mean within the next 3 months. But yes. So if nothing else, that will have to happen. And
yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, and I'm glad you said that. We'll talk offline here, but I think we've got some other things we can talk about. If you're going to be in Ohio, some other opportunities show-wise with some distilleries here in the Ohio area. So, yeah.
Oh, I've done some networking here in Florida as well. That's funny. So if you're ever in Florida.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. The harder nut to crack is Kentucky.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see about that. I don't know.
Or Colorado, when we go to Old Elk and hang out with our friend Greg.
Old Elk may not be as crazy as you think. Like, I don't think they're gonna let us do a show there like immediately, but them 219. And who else? There's a third distiller getting known out there. Shit, I just had their juice the other day. Can't remember what it was. Anyway, Colorado is actually starting to build a little trail out there. They are.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Colorado. All right, so your Woodford Dio, where are you at on this?
I mean, it's a constant. It's always going to be on my bar. It's one of my favorites. Has been from day one. It will always be. It's just it's a good. Again, brown sugar, molasses, that sweet amazing profile that I love. I mean, I've never
When you
had a
say
bottle that.
molasses, you have to go David Tell. Oh, molasses.
Oh, molasses. Yes.
This is turning into like an inside joke show, and I don't care. It's fine. People that are laughing like they're idiots. Well, yeah, kind of.
That was established in the first 5 minutes, probably.
If you didn't know this, sorry. You're now a minute. You're now a minute and 10 seconds. No, you're an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Nick, if you're watching, let us know. Let us know if you're gonna jump on or not. Like in like the next 5 minutes. If it's gonna be longer than 5, just tell us no. It's fine. Otherwise, we're probably gonna wrap up. No pressure. My screen caps. So one of the other things that you haven't seen because it comes through in our Sarasota beer guy Slack group, which I know you're not in, unfortunately. Like, so Dave has pulled a few screen caps of me that are just epic, like just epic. Like I don't know if you saw the episode where Greg brought the big Costco Finlandia vodka. It was like bigger than my face, but I put it up to my face and it's vodka, so you can see through it. But you can see my face all distorted through it. He took a screen cap. That says
nice.
Hilarious. Nick says in. That's a no, I'm assuming. Yeah. But you do want to come on in the future, yes, Nick? Y or in?
Give us a Y for yes.
Yeah.
Or a smiley face if we accept emojis. Does your chat accept emojis?
Yes, I think it does, actually. I don't know. We'll see. I get it through third-party service through StreamYard. So, yes, this chat does, but whether StreamYard does it or not, I don't know. That's a good question. I eventually, technology-wise, anyway, nobody cares at this point. I eventually wanted to do OBS on top of StreamYard, but we'll see.
Yes.
It's a lot of figuring out. Yes. Okay. So we'll keep you in mind in the future.
Yes, we will.
Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night.
I think I am too. Is that 6 drinks down?
And,
3 drinks down.
yeah. I
Times
can do it
2.
live if you want.
Yeah, let's do it live.
Drinks down.
Well, this was fun. The best part about this, it's not Thursday night, so I get to sleep in tomorrow. That's pretty exciting.
Well, and the best part about this, I've been drinking bourbon. I will be great tomorrow. Like craft beer F's me up for some dumb reason. I love it.
Yeah,
still. So
I like bourbon. It's a much easier way to go the next day. Beer, bourbon, I can drink a lot and feel really good.
I'm going to reward Nick because I think he's the only one on still. So, yes, we're brewing a beer. Yes, it's going to be for a release, which won't just be a beer release. Might have something to do with the channel.
Nice.
Just saying. So, yeah, pay attention in the next week. Once I talk to the brewer about getting the date dialed in, about the date we're going to brew and the date that'll be ready, and we can do the release. More detail. So, you hang on for a second, and I'm going to drop everybody off. Okay.
Good night, everybody. It's been fun.
Thanks, hanging out. We'll chat soon.